Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar around what a Rockwell Tech Connect can do for you. My name is Scott Peters, and I'm a sales manager here in Northeastern Ohio. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Seamus Campbell, who is one of our product specialists specializing in Tech Connect. So, Seamus, the video is all yours now.
Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everybody. My name is Seamus Campbell. Like Scott said, I am a service specialist here, primarily working with Tech Connect and training. We're going to review everything that the Tech Connect has to offer. I have a couple of the people who will be presenting with me, Randy Williams. I work primarily in the Ohio APR. Randy works primarily in the Buffalo, New York. As well as Megan Spreitzer, who is our customer success manager, and also Scott Harmon. So I'm going to jump right into it. I know some of you utilize your Tech Connect contracts, some of you don't, but I'd love to hear a little bit about where you stand so we can know a little bit more about your knowledge. If you can, type into the chat. Typically, there's three levels of people who utilize the Tech Connect contract, and I'm sure there's more, but one would be, I've never used the Tech Connect contract before. It's something that I typically don't even utilize, or I've called in support once, we had a downtime issue, or three, I completely and understand how to use my Tech Connect contract. If you'd like, type in the chat just so I know where you stand. Perfect. We got Michael's got a 1. Christopher's got a 1. A couple people are at 1. Great. Well, you guys are definitely in the right place here. So we are primarily going over, so Tech Connect has multiple different options, but what everyone usually has is the product support level, and that's what we're going to be utilizing and speaking about today. And going over a high level as well as getting into the weeds when it comes to your knowledge base, how to do your live chat, how to look at webinars, how to look at training, how to get software upgrades. There's a vast amount of information that the Tech Connect can offer you, and that you can utilize it for your day-to-day for more than just a downtime incident. So from a high level, the Tech Connect works pretty much in 5 avenues. One being the knowledge base, which is essentially like your Google of Rockwell automation. This is where you can kind of type in questions, find different articles about the problems that you're facing day to day. You can type in error messages, a lot of great information. You can share different articles with your team. There's multiple different forums where you can actually connect with people across the industry and across the nation, as far as the world. Let's say you're starting a new project and you want to find a little bit more information on how to start. This is where you can speak with other people who have done that project before or are facing the same issues as you. There's the chat live feature, which is something that I use pretty much daily, multiple times a day. It's a great tool to connect with a specialist directly within a couple of minutes to answer the questions, tell you how to walk you through how to get software upgrades. You can also submit questions if something is not too urgent. If you just need to send over a question that maybe you need something answered by the next couple of weeks, Rockwell will usually get back to you in 1 to 3 business days. And then, of course, I'm sure a lot of people have utilized the phone support. You are in a downtime incident and you need help quickly. That's where the phone support comes in, where they can walk you through any of the issues. So we're going to be reviewing all of these today, as well as the brand new features that the Tech Connect has incorporated to the program. So jumping right into it, for those of you who have never used the contract, what you first want to do is create a login for your knowledge base so you can get right to the center. The way you would do it is you would type in to your Google or your browser Rockwell Automation knowledge base sign in. And from that point, you're going to see this nice little icon here at the right, and you can click on that, and this is going to come up, this little screen. And then from that point, you can go to create account, in which it's going to ask you to enter in a little bit of your information, your email address, who you want access to, a couple other things as well. You would need your authorization number. If you do not know your authorization number, please reach out to us and we would be happy to provide it for you, because we want to make sure that you can sign into this knowledge base. Now, what the authorization number does is that shows Rockwell all the software that's designated to your location, your facility. So when you do call in for support or use the live chat, they'll be able to see on the other line specifically what software and what you have at your facility. That way, if you do need a software upgrade for something specific, you can take a look at all the serial numbers that are loaded, get those activations, get those software upgrades, and find out the help that you need. And from there, you can visit your support center. It'll show you all your profile information, your password, things like that. And then you can jump right into the support screen, and we'll bring you right there to access all the different support resources. So I'm going to show you real quick how I do it. Right from here, right from the Rockwell Automation knowledge base, it's going to come right up. As you can see, I go to this a lot. You can sign right into your Rockwell Automation. And from here, this is where my screen comes up. And once I do have all my information inputted on that little icon, this screen will come up. This will show you your complete account overview. Your email should be right here, and all these top bars will be able to guide you to where the access is. And from here, if you ever don't know your authorization number, or you would like to share this with other people, you kind of forget it, you can sign into your knowledge base and it'll show you specifically where your authorization number is. Okay, so now let's get into the support center. Now that you know how to sign into your knowledge base, I'm going to show you specifically how to use the live chat feature. From the live chat feature, you're going to go up to the support center bar. You're going to go to get support right here. And from that point, it's going to ask you, it's going to show you a couple different options. You want to chat with the Tech Connect and submit a question. So this will, once you click that, it'll bring up this screen right here. And there's a couple different options. You can either, it'll show you specifically where you can submit a question. You can chat with a specific chat support engineer, as well as give you that phone support directory in case you do need to call in. As soon as you create a chat, the Rockwell engineer on the other side will create a support ticket. This is very important. You don't have to remember the support ticket because they are very diligent in forwarding you over an email of all of the chat correspondence that's happened, and you can reference it not only in your email, but all of these support tickets will be logged, so you'll always have the ability to go back. From that point, you can either submit a question or chat with the engineer. I typically always recommend chatting with the engineer because you can get involved and you can speak to them immediately, opposed to having to wait for someone to come over and give you an answer for something specific. But if you'd like to submit a question, you can put a subject, you can send that question. There's also where you can choose a file, so you can take screenshots of something that's not working specifically to make it more specific of what's going on. From that point, it's going to let you know that your question has been submitted. It's going to offer that service ticket as well. All these All these tickets are sent directly to Rockwell Automation at customer help. So if you do, let's say you don't have time to sign into your knowledge base and you do need to submit a question, you can always just send it via email. Please make sure that you reference your authorization number because it's just a lot easier for the Rockwell team to get in touch with you and know what's going on within your facility. Secondly, like I said, submitting a question, I think it's probably something that I use almost every single day. What's great about it is that you can actually search for a specific engineer of that category. So opposed to you speaking to numerous different people being jumped around, you can actually make sure that you are speaking to the engineer in that field that you need help with. Once you click the chat with a specific engineer, this screen will come up. Sometimes it's going to tell you that you're in a queue. Typically, there might be some other people waiting to speak to that engineer. It's okay. It doesn't really go past 5 minutes, and it'll tell you specifically how much time, and it'll bring you right into the screen. Joyce will be listening to you. You can submit that question, speak to Joyce. They're usually going to start with, they're part of Rockwell Automation, how they're going to assist you. You can answer all your questions within that chat. And then once you're done, you can close and get disconnected, in which you'll be able to view that whole chat history, and the Rockwell engineer will send something over to you. So just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, after you sign into your knowledge base, we're going to jump right into get support. We need some help. You can chat and submit a question right there. And the wheel will spin for a moment, allow you to take a sip of coffee. And then from that point, you can enter a product name that you need some help with. Or of course, you can search specifically on anything that you need help with. So we're having some issues with our RS Logix 5000. From here, this is where you can submit that question if necessary. Right, like I mentioned, you can put that subject, you can add those files, answer that question, and you can submit. Or if you like, you can always chat with that engineer. This screen's going to come right up. I'm in the queue. It's going to take 22 seconds typically. They're searching for that available agent who is specific with the RS Logix 5000. You can submit this question right in here. And then when you come up, they're going to be corresponding to you live. Great. Anyone have any questions about that? So now that you know how to sign into your knowledge base, now that you know how to utilize the live chat feature, you're able to submit some questions. A lot of people also utilize the Tech Connect for software updates. If you have a self-assist contract or you have your product support contract, this is how you can go get those software activations. Now, granted, if you don't want to take these steps and you just want to speak with that Rockwell engineer immediately and they can walk you through, but if you want to be a little bit more self-sufficient and you want to kind of search for it yourself, Rockwell will allow you to do that. So you can, from your knowledge base, you can go to activation instructions, in which this screen right here will come up, compatibility and downloads. This offers a massive amount of information for you, in which you can get those software downloads by serial number. You can get it by your product keys. You can get it by your authorization number. What you can also do here is that, let's say you have an older product, you have maybe like a Slick or something, and you want to find out what would be compatible within your system. You can go to the compare option that will also show you how you can compare what products would be best for you. What's great about this as well is that you can also take a look at numerous different data sheets. You can find safety precautions. There's a massive amount of information here. So typically when, let's say you do need that software upgrade, you can enter that serial number. And like I said, you can match it by the product key. You can even do your company name, registered BPID. Your BPID is your business partner ID, which is also your authorization number. And from here, it's going to walk you through the steps on how to get those upgrades that are necessary. This screen will come up and it'll tell you specifically what all those optional downloads are, how large the size is. It's also going to show you specifically what version that you would like. Let's say you need to go up to certain different versions, or you don't want to go to the highest version. All those things are possible here in the knowledge base. So when we're starting here, we want to go scroll all the way down, product compatibility and download center. So like I mentioned, here is your screen where you can do everything along those lines, where you can compare those products. You can get the downloads by the product, by the keyword, or by the serial number. Like I mentioned, you can check out multiple different certifications. You can actually see the design drawings of those products as well, drivers, firmware. You can see the electric data sheets. There's a massive amount of information here that is that can be very, very helpful to you. Okay. And of course, you can always use the live chat feature. They'll be able to help you there. So let's say you do need a software upgrade, but you don't know you don't know your serial numbers. You don't really even know your you don't remember your authorization number. So what you can do is you can take a look at your account in total. So aside from all these bars, this should say your email. You can click this account overview, and this is another home base for you. So here you can update your profile, you can change your password. This is where you can see all of your service tickets. Like I mentioned, you're going to do, if you do a live chat or anytime you call in, this is very important because let's say you fixed a problem 6 months ago and you don't remember how to do it. That's all right. You can go to your service ticket history and you can take a look at that live chat. The entire live chat is stored right there. You can take a look at everything that was said, how the problem was fixed, and you can even update that service ticket if you have additional questions. From here, you can also take a look at all the software that you have as well. So when you are going to update that service ticket, this little screen right here is going to show up. As you can see, it's a little smaller, but here are all your service tickets that are recorded. And you can click on one and you can actually update, or you can close it. If you have any additional questions, there's another issue that arose, you can actually update that service ticket. You can put in the screenshot of what happened, and that same exact Rockwell engineer that you spoke to, who will hopefully remember what happened, they can go through everything that they worked through the issue with and update your questions that you have. Again, here's just what it looks like. You can actually take a look at that entire chat history. So from my perspective, I'll show you right here. So here's my name. This is where my account info is. So mine looks a little bit different, but from here you can take a look at your serial numbers. Like I mentioned, here's your authorization number that you can share with your entire team. Here's all the different options that you can utilize from the service ticket history. Just yesterday, I was asking about a SCADA upgrade for one of our customers. I can click on this ticket. It's going to show me everything that we spoke about right here. And then I can either close this ticket, add additional questions. I can update certain different files of something that happened. So it's extremely interactive all the way through. Okay. So now we know how to sign in. Now we know how to get support with the live chat features. Now we know how to look at those live chats and questions that we had and update those questions. Let's talk about being proactive. Everything we kind of spoke about was being reactive. Here's how we can be a little bit more proactive. We can find information for our team and really make sure that we're running on maximum efficiency. So on that screen, the original support center, when you first sign in, it's going to look, when you first sign into your knowledge base, it's going to say your name, and this screen is going to pop right up right here. And this is where you can submit different type of questions that you have. So for instance, you can type in a error message for your drives or error message in general. You can type in specific products. You can ask any type of question that you might need or you want to share with your team. From that point, there's going to be numerous different articles that will come up. What's great about this is there's a massive amount of information. There's a great deal of articles, but you can always narrow it down. From that point, you can actually filter all of these articles to find out the best information that you have. Break and fix. You can find dimension sheets. There's a massive amount of information here. You can also filter by those categories. Now, let's say you find an article that is extremely helpful to you, and it might be something that you want to share with your team, or you don't want to remember what exactly you searched for to get to that article. What you can do is you can actually add that article to your favorites. So on this screen that we had right here, this is where you can actually take a look at your different favorite articles that you keyed up. What's great about this as well is, aside from adding to your favorites, you can print this documentation. You can print it out, you can hand it out to your teams. There's also an option to email this page. So you'll have the ability to put anyone's email in, and you can email this article over. If this is an important article that may be able to prevent some downtime, how to fix an issue, whatever it may be, here's a way that you can easily access these articles and send them out to your team and take a look at them whenever you need. So just a little representation. We want to do online editing for your ROS Logix 5000. And I found this article that works great for me. Like I said, you can always just take a look and filter. Different quick start. So let's say I like this article. This will show you multiple different quick start menus. This will bring you all to the documentation that you need as well. So let's say you lost some of those user manuals, you can always access it here as well. You can actually create a shareable link so you can send this to anybody necessary. There's a lot of great options here. So like I mentioned right here, gives you a whole summary of the article. You can rate if it's helpful. There's also an additional answers that can also other articles that relate to this one that you can investigate yourself. You can print this as well. You can save it as a PDF here, and you can also email this page to any type of recipient, as well as add to favorites right here. So now we know how to log into our knowledge base. We know the live chat feature. We know how to take a look at those service tickets. We know how to search through the knowledge base and take a look at numerous different options. We can also take a look at the interactive forums. There is an online forum, like I mentioned, that you can go and see what other community members are taking a look at. You have to create a login from there. And from that point, you can take a look at what other people are saying within the community of, let's say, Control Logix, Compact Logix. You can see all the different posts that are going on, multiple different comments, when these comments happened. It's a great way to interact with other people throughout. You can type in a keyword search, and it's just it's a great way to take a look. So now that we know how to do all of that, we can also take a look from a training perspective. So there are multiple different webinars that Rockwell has that you can actually take a look at. They do Genius webinars in which it teaches you or gives you updated information. Here you can take a look at old webinars that have happened before, and find out as far as 2011. You can see all the webinars that have happened, and take a look at those videos, which offers a great deal of information as well. So you can send these out to your teams if this relates to products within your facility, and really proactively get some training done for your knowledge base and your Rockwell Automation Tech Connect contract. Also, you can also view different training classes. So aside from just taking a look at these webinars, you do have the ability to take a look at multiple different training classes, find out the course description. You can find out the pathway of these training courses as to what's most important, what the next levels of those trainings are. And what's a great feature as well is this course right for you? Now, let's say you want to have your team trained up, and you're not sure specifically if this class would be right for them. What this does is this gives them a 15-minute quiz. If they get over 70% on that quiz, the class is not right for them, and they are more advanced in that class. This way, we can make sure that we're using our money wisely. We can use our money towards classes that work best for your team to make sure that they are most efficient and prevent that downtime. And then, like a quick view, you do go to go to training and webinars. You want to go to instructor-led courses, which was there. You could go to support, training, instructor-led courses. And this will bring you to the training services page. What's great about this as well is that you can search by category, a specific place of where training is offered. Let's say there's a training course that Rexel is not offering. You can find out where that training course will be recognized. So for instance, we have some new hires, and we want to get them on track for control logics. That we want to get them on the most basic course, CCP 146. Right here, it's going to take you to the screen. You can actually take a look at that course description so you can know specifically what is being covered on that course all the way throughout, as well as that training guide, so you can actually see where our path is for that training guide as well. Certificate programs, and of course, is this course right for you? You can select the region as to see where this course is being held. So it offers a great deal of information. So we will be sending this over to everybody where here are some quick links to get right to that support center to access everything that we spoke about, your activations and Smart Guide, how you can get those activations, how to rehost certain activations, a help center. What you want to do as well is make sure that we mark all of these emails, as safe senders, because this is where you're going to receive communication from the Rockwell team, and this will be sent over to you. Lastly, probably the feature that everybody utilizes is the direct dial. I don't know if some of you have called into the Tech Connect and you had to click numerous different buttons and you weren't sure who to speak to, or you just kind of called in that downtime incident. What Rockwell provides is a direct dial card, so you can get in touch with the specialist immediately in the field that you need help with. So for instance, you do need some help, let's say with your PLC2. Hopefully not a lot of people have those in their facility, but you do call in you can use this dial card. You do 3 immediately, which you're going to have your technical support. They're going to ask you for your authorization number, so you always want to keep that handy. And then from that point, you can dial in the specialist that you need to speak to. So you can get access to a specialist almost immediately within a time frame that is helpful for you to reduce that downtime, opposed to spending a great deal of time trying to fix the issue. You can get in touch with someone almost immediately. So what we went over today is we know how to use our knowledge base. We know how to use the live chat. We know how to log in. We know about our direct dial card and how to call in. We can actually look up some training today. We can look up how to get your activations, rehost activations, and there's massive amount of information that's provided in this knowledge base. So if you do have any questions, we do provide numerous different lunch and learns. Feel free to call anybody, myself, Randy, Scott, Megan, any of us, and we can, if you have questions after this, we can help walk you through that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about, so that's everything that was always covered onto the TechConnect contract. I'm going to pass the baton on to Randy. He's going to go over all of the newest tools that Rockwell has added within this past year that I think you're really going to like.
Thank you very much, Seamus. And yes, Rockwell is always forward-looking, trying to support the manufacturing base that we work with. And the tools that we have are really just taking advantage of the technology that has made our lives so much easier. And augmented reality is kind of the buzzword. You hear a lot about it, but augmented reality will be able to help you as people who are out there in the manufacturing industrial world to make sure that the skills gap between the people who may be leaving or retiring soon or have already left and the newer hires who are there to be your technicians and trainers, to make sure that they have got somebody looking over their shoulder to help them. And so we'll be able to show you a little bit about how this works. And Seamus, if you'll take us to the next slide, please. All right. I'm sure we are all aware that we use our phones a lot. And through the use of a phone or a tablet, augmented reality, and this is an example of live view, where you're having the technician or the electrician walking up to a piece of equipment, and there is a Rockwell field service engineer or a specialist on the other end who will then be able to, you can see the green line just got drawn on, to give instructions to the people who are working near facilities of exactly what they need to do, step-by-step instructions on whatever is required to troubleshoot, to make sure the equipment is functioning properly, or give instructions on how to get the equipment just running. And it's like having a supervisor in somebody's pocket. As long as they've got a cell phone or a tablet, and they do have access to calling in the number, the Rockwell Field Service Engineer will guide them through what they need to do in order to keep the equipment and the facility going and keeping the factory more profitable. All right. And so Seamus, if you can take us to the next slide. And thank you very much. You did a great job there. The live view support, okay, uses a Vuforia chalk. That's a company that Rockwell has partnered with in order to be able to facilitate what you just saw as we did the demonstration. And once again, this can be used by a cell phone or a tablet or device. And the reality is that once the call is made to Rockwell, the field service specialist will then provide a code to the technician or electrician so that they do not have to call back in. And it is through the code that they will be able to provide the instructions. And this is done remotely, and once again, using the augmented reality situation. And Seamus, if you can take us to the next slide, please. And what is so important about this is that this is free. If you already have a Tech Connect, and I need to qualify that if you have a Tech Connect with the ability to call in and talk to somebody, you could be doing this right now today. Okay, there is software that will need, or I should say, there's an app that needs to be loaded on the phone, but that's a really easy thing to do. Once that app is on the phone, then the technician can take advantage of the augmented reality and they can have the conversations. And so we want to make sure that, you know, you as the people who we are serving are aware that this is available, and it is available and can be used quickly. And I know Seamus just mentioned the lunch and learns, and we would be happy to come into your facility and be able to make sure that your people have what they need to in order to take advantage of this. So that is the live use support tool. And Seamus, if I can have you go on to the next slide, please. Okay, the Digital Assist Library, this is similar, but as opposed to having a human being on the other end of the line, there are a number of experiences, and we'll be getting into those here momentarily, that will allow people who may not understand it. This is a whole lot like that knowledge base that Seamus spent a great deal of time covering and did a fantastic job with showing us what the knowledge base could do. And so, Seamus, if you'll go to the next slide, we'll be able to take a look in to see some of the things that are available on this knowledge base. Is basically the ability to watch a piece of equipment be disassembled and reassembled, so that somebody who may not have ever seen a PowerFlex open up, they'll know where to remove the screws to place it in a housing. Rockwell has 155 different experiences with their pieces of equipment. I'm just going to run down a few examples. On a PowerFlex 755 with frame size 1, okay, they're given the option of doing module replacement. If it's a PowerFlex 755 frame size 6, they can replace the back plane and interface board. In other words, the individual who is using this interface, what they're going to be able to see is they're going to be able to see the PowerFlex 755 taken apart and step by step. And the fact is they can replay it so they can watch how it is done. Another example, PowerFlex 755 with the frame size 6 can replace the heat sink fan. The same thing, they can replace the main control board. And another one of these experiences is a PowerFlex 755 frame size 7, replacing the back plane and the interface board. So as I'd mentioned, there are a number of experiences that will allow the technicians and electricians to be able to take advantage of using this in a self-assisted way. So, Seamus, I think we're ready for Megan to give us a little bit of video. Okay. That, by the way, that's the app that was loaded, and Megan is showing us how you can use these experiences. And there we go. Wow. I'm looking at a PowerFlex 755 right now. And this is what the people in the field would be able to see. They would be able to see that PowerFlex directly in front of them. If they want to make it larger, it can be made a little larger. If they want to turn around and look at the back, they can turn around and look at the back. And like I said, if they wanted to see how they could replace the back plane on this particular PowerFlex 755, they would be able to click that experience and it would slowly start taking itself apart so that the technician or electrician or the maintenance person that's working on it would be able to see how it was taken apart. They'd be able to see what the inner workings are. They could be able to see how they could get down to that back plane and put it in. And so we think that this really is a game changer, and it really will help meet the skills gap that is out there. And so now I've described it, I've shown it to you. Hopefully you all will be excited and that you will want to be able to see how this can help you personally or how it can help your team. And so that is, once again, our digital assist library that goes along with our augmented reality. So, and Megan, thank you very much for that demonstration. And I hope if you have any questions that you'll reach out to myself or Scott Harmon or Seamus or even Megan. So Megan, I will go ahead and turn the time back over to you. If Seamus, you want to go on to the next slide about customer success.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Megan Spreitzer. I'm a customer success manager handling accounts in Northeast Ohio and Western New York. So as a customer success manager, I'm committed to our customers who have support agreements and their business's success. So I meet with customers with certain support agreements. Typically, they either have larger or multiple support agreements with us. And I meet with them on a regular basis to help them achieve their business goals, achieve maximum contract satisfaction. During the meetings, we analyze their holistic data and how they're utilizing their agreements to provide advice for better optimizing and getting the most value out of their agreements. And as well as if they ever have an issue with their support, I help to provide a path for escalating and getting a resolution. Next. So I just wanted to introduce myself and give a little bit of examples of how we can work with customers and better support them around their contracts. So with one of my accounts I work with, we were meeting with them around their Tech Connect, and I discussed with them how they regularly and consistently use our remanufacturing services and how a repair agreement with us could help them save money. So with a repair agreement, not only are you getting a better rate on our higher level of remanufacturing services, but you're also Rockwell adds funds, however much you put in, they'll add on top of that. So great way to save some money. So we help them in that way. Another customer meet with and work with on a regular basis, we reviewed their software supported on their Tech Connect, and found some old licenses that they're no longer utilizing, so they no longer need support on. So we were able to help them freeze those licenses so they no longer paid for support on them. Next. As Seamus and Randy both mentioned, another thing we can provide is training. So whether that be, on your terms or lunch and learn, we can come out and train your team like we're doing today on how to utilize the Tech Connect support agreement and how to get set up with a login, how to, access the knowledge base. So we've provided training for first, second, and third shifts for customers before, so we can train the entire team. And this helps to, one, increase the value you're getting out of your agreement by getting more utilization, but then it also helps to take some of the burden off of the shift supervisors and managers who are getting those late night and after hours phone calls from the second and third shift needing some help. We can help train them so they can call and utilize Rockwell's engineers first, and then if they're, and then management can be a backup for them instead of their first call. Another example of a customer I've worked with is again, they had multiple agreements with us. So we worked to align all of their agreements so they all started and ended at the same dates. So this helped to simplify and get them to just cut one PO. And we are able to also bundle in training and field labor to fit their needs. So just wanted to go over some examples of other ways we can better support you around your support contract needs. Next slide, please. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to come off mute or type them in the chat. So we included our Seamus, Randy, and Scott's contact information in the areas that they cover around support agreements. As I mentioned, I have certain accounts. I'm also available to help as needed. We appreciate your time today, and we hope that you learned something and took away some information that you can bring back to your company. Any questions?
Megan, I'm looking in chat right now and I do not see anything being chatted in, and I don't see any hands raised. Hey, Seamus, I know earlier you talked about one of the benefits of a Tech Connect being looking to see what training's available for the teams out there, our customer teams. Let's say that they find a class like that. I think you mentioned CCP 146. Is there anywhere they can look within Rexel to see if that class is being offered here locally in Northeastern Ohio or Western New York?
Absolutely. Great question. So what Rexel has come up with the help of Scott and everybody within our team, is that we actually have a services training page. In every email that I send out, in my signature, there's a link that states view our local training schedule. From this point, you can actually take a look at all the classes that are upcoming, as well as prices, and you have the ability to register for these classes that are upcoming. And from here, you can also take a look at our schedule throughout the year. You can find out what the syllabuses are, so you can find out what the classes are going to cover from the day-to-day basis. And really find out all of those different types of course offerings and the locations that they're going to be taking place. So this is covering all of the Rexel APRs, where it includes myself, Randy, Scott, Megan, all of us put together. We have all these classes coming up. This is updated monthly. We also send out a monthly email to let you know about the new classes that are coming up. So if you haven't received those emails or you'd like to be added to the list, please give us a call or shoot us an email and we'll be sure to send that out to you.
All right, since no more questions, we do appreciate you joining us today. Hopefully you got a lot of great information out of the presentation, and have a great rest of your day. And if you need anything Tech Connect related, feel free to reach out to Seamus, Randy, or Scott, and they'll be able to answer your needs.